Hi everyone! Okay, so as you can see, I am in the tub and I am doing a partial bath mukbang. I'm not even sure how you say it, but I've always wanted to do a mukbang. This is not a full meal, but it is a dessert. Why not have some cold ice cream and a nice hot warm bath? I've always wanted to do this and I'm doing it. I can do whatever I want, right? It's my channel.
I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me.
This is so exciting. It took a long time to even be able to sit in here. I over anticipated the temperature and I had to pour cold water in. I have to keep this leg in for this long. Maybe it's getting better. I might show bloopers, I don't know, but yes, that contrast is everything. You know how when you go to the sauna and they have you get in the hot jacuzzi and then have you jump in a cold pool? I always wondered why, but I think I'm starting to get it. Okay, so my news for today, as you can see in the title, I am having triplets. I'm so excited. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am and how grateful I am to the universe for this amazing miracle, this beautiful gift. My little bundles of joy, my little miracles, they're my everything. And I cannot wait to meet them. They move so much. I can always feel who's moving at one time. I can sense their energies. I can sense their personalities. There's so much to tell you, I don't know where to begin. I can't even concentrate because I'm so hot, to be honest. So I'm gonna try to chill out for a little bit. I'm glad I caught a still frame or a couple of frames of the ice cream before it started to melt, because it's definitely starting to melt. It doesn't quite look the same when it does, but that's cool. You know what I should have had as well? Cold water on deck to drink as well, but I will make do with this. Okay, so you're probably wondering, did I know the whole time? And the answer is no. I had a suspicion, a very, very strong suspicion, but I did not know. I just found this out. I found out about each one in different weeks. Okay, so it's at the rim too, so like any sudden movement. Oh, if you're wondering why, if you can tell, I'm not sure if you can, if you're wondering why I have plastic in the tub with me as well, I'm actually testing out this plastic for my birthing ceremony. I'm testing out my plastic for the tub because you know you want to be extremely clean and sterile as possible when you are giving birth at home. So the plastic, I have like 10 of them. So this is the first one I decided to use and try. We will see how that goes. At some point I might lower this water just to like sit a little bit more comfortable and talk to you. I don't know yet because there's a lot I want to say and I can't concentrate. Okay, so we're gonna change it up just a little bit. I don't want to pass out while I'm doing this video. It's not productive. I'm trying to listen to my body more, and so this is one of those moments where I'm doing that. At least I did it. I sat in scorching hot water, bro, for at least a good maybe 5 minutes. I did it. Now it's time to balance it out a little bit. I think my muscles have been overstimulated at this point. I'm starting to be able to breathe. I was literally starting to hyperventilate. Gonna have to have warm, not hot water for my labors. At least I know that, because I don't know. This was such a good, like, what do they call that? Test run. Starting to lose my bubbles, so I might let my hair down. Sorry the mukbang could not last long, but I promise you I will be back with a mukbang for you. Whether it be ice cream or a full meal, I will. Okay. Some cold water so bad. All else girls, hydrate with your spit. One time, one of my godmothers, may she rest in power, she's no longer here. She was babysitting me, and I was old enough to walk and talk and, you know, think for myself. And I was like, I'm thirsty, and we were right at her front door. And she was like, drink your spit. And I thought that was the rudest thing to say to someone at first, but it totally makes sense. If all else fails, drink your spit. Now that I can concentrate, I found out about my triplets. As far as intuition is concerned, I felt it from the very beginning. I was showing at 6 weeks. They're moving right now. I was showing in yesterday's video, if you saw when I said, oh, and looked down, it was because as soon as I started talking about them, they started moving. But I didn't want to slip up and say they yet because I didn't tell the news. Started showing at 6 weeks. I wish I had those photos, to be honest. I do not. I do know that I felt movement very early. I felt the flutters from 6 to 9 weeks, and I felt kicking full on at 17 weeks. I felt it in every area of my belly. And I was like, this doesn't feel like one baby jumping from side to side, up and down. Like, I don't think they do that. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think that's how it works. And so, unfortunately, every time I would bring this up to a doctor, they would essentially lie to me. Now, disclaimer right now, if any of you are doctors watching this and you're sensitive, you might want to click off right now, because I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about some of you. You're not all like this, but my experience has been a bit tainted. However, I'm not trying to say that every doctor is this way, but this video is for anyone else out there who has intuition about their body and they're being lied to. So, every time I would bring it up to a nurse or a doctor about there being more than one, I would receive attitude and I would be told, no, just one. Then after a while, I stopped bringing it up because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get the answer that I know is present here. So I stopped bringing it up and I just started to observe. And as I was observing, I would notice that there was a specific position that the doctor would keep the Doppler in on my belly, only that one spot, and not move it around. And only turn the sound on after a certain time of getting to the spot. And only turn the screen to me after a certain time of looking at the ultrasound and not saying a word, being on a specific side or section of my belly, completely silent, looking around with the screen turned to them and not saying anything. And then when I ask, what are you looking at? Oh, nothing. When I ask, please turn the screen to me, it takes an arm and a leg for them to do that. And they're like, oh, well, we have to know what we're looking at first. When every single video that I've seen of families going to get their ultrasounds done or sonogram checks, the screen was always pointed to them full on, like at the very beginning of the visit. And the sound was on at the very beginning of the visit. So why in my case, the sound is off, the screen is turned, and I'm not able to be in on the experience the whole time? And one time, my very last ultrasound actually, I went and, I asked these questions, and she didn't really answer my questions. She kind of kept like making excuses. And then they were like, oh, well, we have to send you to triage because of X, Y, and Z. Essentially, basically to check the heartbeat. And so I get to triage, I'm sitting in there for 2 hours straight. They said that never happens. And then I get into the room and the machine is checking our heartbeats. And then all of a sudden, someone comes in and then they're running a new scan. And I'm like, what just happened? And they're like, oh, this never happens. The system shut off. And I'm like, what? So all of a sudden, there's 2 of them that they're scanning, and I only get 1. As far as numbers are concerned, also, I would only receive 1 sonogram picture the very first time I went, which was in Los Angeles. And that doctor felt so uncomfortable. It felt like she was literally sticking something up my woo-ha to do harm. Because the pain was ridiculous, and I literally had to tell her, okay, stop, what are you doing? And she didn't want to answer me, oh, I'm sorry, and kept going. And then in the picture of the sonogram, I saw little divots of where she was trying to puncture. But thank God my placenta was in the way and she couldn't get to the amniotic sac. So then in San Francisco, I have the rest of these incidences, and I didn't get a wide view. I only got 2 photos this time, and the doctor took all the rest of the photos. And I'm like, why do you need all those photos? And why do I only get 2? And why is it only a very close-up shot? Now, mind you, the first photo that I got, I saw another sac, but they tried to tell me that wasn't what I was seeing. Then the second 2 photos I get, they're now close up. So now I'm not even able to look around the photo anymore. But the babies, there was a picture of one baby facing one way and a picture of another baby facing another way. And I'm like, is that her way of trying to tell me something, or did she slip up? Then the very last ultrasound I got 3 photos, but extremely close up. Now we're not even talking about body. Now we're talking about just the face. And I'm like, what is going on? But then I got 3 photos. So first it was 1 photo, then it was 2 photos, then it was 3 photos. And you know, everything comes in signs. Then I was matching movements, and I was matching what was told to me in all these ultrasounds, and I'm observing their behavior, and I'm like, I know something's going on here. I'd like to also add this, that I'm very aware that I am carrying small for triplets, and the doctors got away with telling me it was just 1 because of that. And it's because I have a tilted uterus, and I've had endometriosis due to a lot of trauma. So when you have a tilted uterus, you carry smaller, even with a singleton pregnancy, because you carry sometimes under the ribs or in the back. So there was a nurse that was supposed to come visit recently, but I canceled that meeting because she ended up putting me in danger by going to the wrong place and asking for me and putting my name in, and then lied to me and said she didn't do that. So sorry, if you can do that, you're not someone who needs to be around me and my babies. At the time, you know, I just was being told it was 1, so that's what I had to go with. But still, baby or babies, you're not going to be around us if you can't even be honest with me and if you're going to put us in danger. And so I started to feel uncomfortable danger and drainage around every single person that was dealing with us. So that's another thing that made me feel like I don't even want to be here in this hospital. Like, none of these hospitals have felt comfortable. None of this experience has been like what I've seen with others, where they get to enjoy every single second of it and every single part of it when they're at the doctor. It just has not been that way for me. So after a while, intuition sets in. And so I told her, I was like, I want to buy a Doppler machine. And at that point, it was going to be electronic. And she was like, oh no, I don't advise that. And I'm like, why are you trying to talk me out of this? And she was like, oh, I think that you should just let me come by and do it for you, because you're not going to know what you're looking for. Excuse me? I think I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my baby's heartbeat. And I think that anyone in their right mind is going to know, make sure you check your own heartbeat first, get a clear sound on what yours sounds like, and then you'll know from what yours sounds like the difference of what you're hearing outside of that. Common sense. So I'm like, okay. Then I spoke to a mom that I knew about it, and she was like, no, I don't think you should buy those, because sometimes they pre-record heartbeats, and then you might get a heartbeat that's on there that's not even your baby's. And I'm like, okay, so I won't get an electronic one. So I waited until I was able to get the money, and I bought a fetal stethoscope. One of the old school ones, non-electronic, complete raw sound. On one particular Saturday, once it came in the mail, I used it and I checked my heartbeat first, got a clear description. Ooh, it was such an intense moment now. Yes, I'm telling you my story. Okay, so, oh my gosh, the water is finally relaxing to sit in. Like, I can breathe. I think I need this temperature. I need lukewarm water with a twinge of cold in it, for sure. And a nice cold glass of water. That's what's gonna do. So I start listening to my heartbeat. I get a clear visual of what mine sounds like. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I listen to the area that the last ultrasound told me that my baby was in. And I was like, okay, there you are, hi. Same spot from what she saw, right? So then I start looking around, something that I've been waiting for them to do and they have not. And when they do, they never show me or never let me listen. And even the last ultrasound that I had, she had the sound off the entire time and she only let me hear a second of it. And then that was it. Anyway, so present time on this particular Saturday, I finally start putting the fetoscope around different areas. And I put it on the very opposite side because something always told me, check the opposite side. I checked the complete opposite side of the first baby and I heard a very distinctive, different heartbeat. And I was overjoyed. I was like, I knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Then time goes by and I pretty much let it sink in. And then on the very next, I believe it was 2 Sundays later, something tells me, put the fetoscope a little higher up on the first side of the heartbeat that you heard. So then I put it up on the other side, higher, and I hear a very distinct, different heartbeat from the other two. And at this point, my keen sense of hearing, and it may be mother's hearing, or it may be just I have keen ears, I don't know, but mothers have an innate sense to know every single aspect, detail of their offspring, and I find that to be so miraculous. It sets in right away. My level of protection as far as energy has skyrocketed ever since I've become pregnant, and then my keen sense of knowing the specifics of them has skyrocketed. Well, it was never there because they weren't there before, but it has skyrocketed. So I hear this heartbeat, and this heartbeat was extremely different as well. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I literally honed in on my own, honed in the 3 spots. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough, universe, for this wonderful, beautiful gift. I have not been back to the doctor. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yesterday's video talked about blind faith, and I'm gonna bring that up once again, and intuition. They talk about in the Bible, when you know that you know that you know that you know, you don't need anybody outside of that to tell you anything. When you activate clear, distinct intuition and you teach yourself how to trust that intuition, you don't need anybody telling you anything outside of you. When you activate blind faith, you don't need anybody telling you anything outside of you, especially if they've been lying. So at this point, everyone that's been around me, trying to talk me out of doing things that my instinct told me to do, or trying to tell me what I was feeling wasn't true, they can all kiss my hoo-ha. I'm gonna try to activate not cursing on my channel anymore. I am very excited that I've gotten other confirmations in many different ways about this as well. And let me talk to you on a spiritual level right now. Before I was pregnant, 9 months before I was even pregnant, I have been on a trying to conceive journey for majority of the year before I got pregnant. I knew I wanted children. I knew I was ready for a family. My situation as far as living and all that was not up to par, to be honest, but I did have faith. At that point, I didn't activate blind faith yet. I just had faith. But even on that smaller scale of faith, I knew that eventually I was going to have everything I needed, and my determination to have a wonderful, stable situation for the family that I wanted to build, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't anticipate it to be in this way. I'm not going to get into specifics anymore because I am done talking about all that, but I definitely am grateful that it did pan out this way, because I have learned how independent and strong I am on a level that I cannot even begin to tell you. I assembled all of my furniture in my apartment, heavy-ish, assembled each part of it by myself with no help. I have went through the ringer before getting a place to live. So many different things that a pregnant person should not have to go through. And I went through it and I conquered and succeeded. So 9 months before my pregnancy, I had a dream at first about a little girl. I'm not gonna give the details of that dream because that is intense on its own. But this little girl was definitely my child. and I knew it. Fast forward to some months later, I had a dream about a little boy, and he starts telling me about his sister and how he was going to come first, and he told me a bunch of other things that I needed to know. When he said he was going to come first, I thought he was trying to say he's coming before her, like she was supposed to be the first baby born, but now it's going to be him. But what he meant was he's going to be revealed to me first, because a boy was revealed to me in the last ultrasound that I had, and a boy was visiting my mom in her dreams. So that's the only reason why I gave in and asked, what's the gender? Because I wanted to know if that was the boy visiting her, and it surely was. He had visited me months before my pregnancy, after the girl, and told me he was coming first, and now I know he was getting revealed first. By the way, my mom and I are in a much better dynamic. I'm so grateful for that, I really am. We've reached breakthroughs of getting to the root of our issues, and that's all it takes, is to get to the root of why people do things and say things and think the way they do. I speak to her every day, pretty much. Okay, so he was trying to tell me he would get revealed first. So he was revealed in the last ultrasound. I was like, okay, so this is the boy who visited my mom. I leave there and I had another dream. And by the way, before this ultrasound, I had another dream, and it was of a little girl. And she puts up one of her fingers and she went like this. And I was like, what is she trying to say? And I had an intuition feeling of her telling me, oh, there's one more girl. Now mind you, I already knew about the first one. And so she was trying to tell me, I'm the one more girl that you're having. And so lo and behold, I am having 2 girls and a boy. And I cannot be more overjoyed and excited. I already have their names. I'm not revealing them until I give birth. I was gonna wait to reveal genders, but I felt led to share. And this is all I will be sharing about them for now. I made beautiful art pieces for them, and I'm so excited. I won't be sharing those until after their birth as well. I am over the moon in gratitude to the universe for giving me them as gifts, giving me my gifts so that way I can know about them. Through all the ish that I've been put through to not know about them, I still ended up knowing about them. And I'm so grateful for that. For whatever reason, the hospital here did not want to tell me. I'm going to say, we are okay, and we are going to be okay. And we will be together forever. I believe that is my cue to end this video on a very beautiful high note. Universe, please calm this baby down. Whatever pain that they are feeling, please calm them down. Give them ease. Give them serenity. Give them peace. Give the parents peace that's dealing with them, so everyone can calm down. Release the stronghold in that home. Break the stronghold that is in that home. There was more that I was going to add to this video about the research that I found out about doctors, but I think that I need to give that its own video because the information there is specific, and I want to make sure I give it in accuracy, and it has its own title dedicated to it, and I do not want to take the beautiful energy that's in this one. I just had to add a couple of things that I forgot to mention. More confirmations on me knowing about my babies is that one person, the third person that I stayed with in the series of events that I talked about in another video, her mom actually called it out, and she was like, you're having twins, a boy and a girl. Like, she was very certain of it. And then a friend of my own mom mentioned that it was revealed to her that I was having twins. This was right around the time it was revealed to me that I was having twins at first. And then when I found out about my third, I realized that my third has been protected to not be revealed to anyone, to make sure that everything goes smoothly with the entire pregnancy. And she has been pretty much like under my rib cage this entire time. It was very profound. As far as the placements, baby A, my son, the first one I found out about, is on my right side. Baby B, my daughter, the second one I found out about, is on my left side. And baby C, third one I found out about, my other daughter, is on my right side above baby A, my son. So I'm very excited. Okay, I'll go back to editing. I am so excited. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I just hope to radiate that and send that out to everyone around me and to everyone outside of here and to everyone that's watching. Please trust your intuition and please don't let anyone try to tell you something that you know is not true for whatever agenda that they may have or whatever opportunity that they're looking to do against you. Please trust yourself, activate your intuition, and then learn to trust it. Until next time, just breathe.